So good feelings are about, avoiding suffering. And, because if you feel really good, satisfied when you're hungry, you're pretty far from the suffering of starvation. You know what I mean? If you're feeling all comfy and relaxed in the bath, that's a big distance from, oh my God, my foot is broken. You don't have to worry about it happening. That pleasure comes from the feeling safety, the feeling of suffering not imposing. So there becomes a complementary objective value to good feelings through the fact that they identify a lack, the opposite of suffering. Okay, I I I, I think you have to deal with that, and I think your system can, because really what you're getting down to is, see, people do need to do what you're talking about. They need to control and stuff. Their their ape and reptile brain. And you're also right, the DNA is not going to do anything to stop a nuclear bomb. We can look at nature and see what its approach to. Let's just say the DNA didn't want a nuclear bomb. Okay. Its approach would not be direct. Okay. It does not. What it would do is, first of all, it would appear not to care if there's a nuclear bomb. If we set off a nuclear bomb, it'll just try to grow life forms that survive the result. It won't be us, but hey, it wouldn't care. But as I say, if it did care, the way it works is through the nature feedback, right? You set off a nuclear bomb, and nature punishes your species. You face whatever the physical law consequence is. And if you set off nuclear bombs, you kill 90% of the people. That still leaves 100 million people in the world or something. I think they're likely not to do it again, or at least more likely. So, of course, maybe they'd lose their history and they do it again because they didn't remember that they'd done it before. That's quite possible, I guess. Now, when you talk about the price being too high, I just don't really want to accept that kind of thing, because, for some animals, given bad environment, they would die of what they used to call consumption. Just a depression, don't eat, or refuse to do their survival needs. They let themselves go and they die away. Okay, humans get in this kind of a situation too. You can see it, but we're much more resilient than a lot of the more delicate animals. So humans have built into their structure an agenda, like you were saying before, that includes kind of like, usually it is worth it. Just to have a chance, because maybe it's because we can visualize the future, but just to have a chance for your grandchildren to succeed is worth undergoing suffering for a lot of humans. They would go into a suffering situation, come to America with nothing, with the idea that they would still have nothing when they're dead except for a little bit of a start for their kids, and that it was a generational thing, and they could picture that. Okay, so you're right that means that humans can be really in bad situations. And so it is true that it's possible that in a cockroach type world that humans would still exist in some sense. But I would say no, because of the following sense. If we really have 50 billion people, keep running around with AK-47s, make the world just terrible for anybody that's trying to be decent, I think we will die off. I think the human race will die of consumption. For one reason is because the people that live that way now are in this weird balance. They need the creative intellectuals. They don't invent the nuclear, the theories of nuclear energy. They glom off the creative people that are creating that kind of stuff often just because they're looking into energy, or maybe they want to make something, but it's it's an energy source. Okay, so those people are parasites on the people that are following the higher emotional motivations, So I don't think they would make it. But as I said, it's still possible. And in that case, I say, if that happens, that's not going to really even be the human race. Like, we're a transition species, and instead of finishing and being the human race for 1,000,000 years, we're going to just disappear, and our, children aren't going to seem like us, just like we don't really seem like mice anymore. It's going to be a transition away from anything you'd really want to call human. The cockroachy human, if that's the stable form. But I really think that humans live off of the intellect and off of these higher things that, unfortunately, the people that are not the kind of people that generate that know how they are the kind of people that know how to exploit it. But But I really think they're parasites, so if they succeed, they'll kill the host. If they succeed in running everything and being the dominant biomass among the human species. On the terms of 100 years, yeah, I already went into that. So, okay, I had to re-record this and stuff. I probably went over a couple stuff twice. So, yeah, I think I covered everything.